In a residential complex in China, a woman was caught on camera approaching the parcel lockers while riding a bike. At first glance, she seemed like she was simply picking up a delivery. But what stood out was the numerous bags hanging off her bicycle. Without hesitation, she stuffed multiple packages into her bags and quickly rode off. Turns out, none of those parcels belonged to her. Later, when the rightful owners came to collect their deliveries, everything was already gone. CCTV footage revealed something even more shocking. She had been regularly stealing packages, even in the early hours of the morning. Eventually, the police tracked her down and arrested her. But what really left people stunned was her unapologetic, brazen attitude.
就是你啊！
买的饮料啊，
先下来，来这边。
虾饺还有那个腊肉饭。
虾饺、腊肉饭是吧？不是你的是吧？好。
After relentless questioning, she finally confessed to everything. The police escorted her back to her home, only to discover something even more shocking. Inside, the house was packed floor to ceiling with stolen packages, all swiped from parcel distribution centers. She had literally filled every inch of her home with the goods she'd stolen. Stories like this highlight how, in China, there's often a noticeable lack of consideration for others. Among all reports filed with the Chinese police, theft ranks at the very top. In neighboring Asian countries like South Korea and Japan, crime rates are relatively low and public safety is well maintained. But in China, theft is common not just at parcel centers, but even at everyday places like supermarkets. As you're seeing now, these crimes cut across all ages and genders. One major reason theft remains so rampant is that investigations often fall through the cracks, with many cases simply brushed aside. Theft knows no age or generation in China. It's common to see kids riding motorcycles in threes without licenses, while many adults turn a blind eye instead of stepping in to teach them right from wrong. Even in the footage you're seeing now, children casually walk off with drinks they haven't paid for. China's problems with theft and pickpocketing are well known. Not long ago, a Chinese student studying in Japan drew attention after openly sharing how Japanese people truly perceive Chinese nationals.
日本当地人他歧视外国人，日本人其实他的文化里并不歧视外来人士。比如说干净卫生这个方面的话，就差的太多了。不是说中国人不干净，就是说日本人是非常干净。我去过好多次新加坡，这都是说世界上最干净的地方。但新加坡的干净，但日本人他的文化就是非常非常爱干净了。那譬如说我去到一个卖这个观赏植物的这个店，有两个中国的21、22岁的留学生，穿的都挺 fashion 的，说话也细声细语。当我走近离他4、5米之内的距离，就闻到一股衣服的馊味儿。说实话，让我突然就感觉很恶心。
This student openly admits that while it might seem like Japanese people are being discriminatory toward foreigners, the real root cause lies in the behavior of fellow Chinese nationals. He even confesses that, as a Chinese person himself, he sometimes feels embarrassed by how other Chinese behave in Japan. He points out that many Chinese people tend to neglect personal hygiene, often making those around them uncomfortable. Ultimately, he's candid about how these negative behaviors contribute to how Chinese people are perceived abroad.
在日本，不管是冬天还是怎么样，大家都每天洗1次或者2次澡，每天都洗头发，包括说话声音大，给周围人带来一个恶心的体验，给周围人传导负能量，所以说大家会歧视你。对方觉得你是不是欠债没还，或者你这个人是不是太随便，大家是这么一个思维模式。那如果你作为一个外国人，你的日语说的不好，像很多有些欧美人比较干净。
It's not just in Japan perceptions of China aren't particularly positive in other parts of Asia either, including South Korea. In fact, I believe one key reason why many young Koreans hold negative views about China is largely due to the image that Chinese people themselves have created.
중국은 늘 좀 우리나라를 속국으로 생각하는 것 같고 옛날부터 그런 느낌을 항상 받고 살고 있어요.
하늘 보면 미세먼지도 많고 이게 지금 중국에서 온다고 생각을 하시는 거예요? 그쵸. 맨날 뉴스 보면은 미세먼지 중국에서 온다고 하고
아무래도 중국산이라고 그러면은 안 사려고 그러시고 아무래도 국산 제품 찾으시고 이러니까
저희 그 인식이 이미 그렇게 박혀버려서 이걸 회복하는 데는 참 오래 걸리지 않을까 싶어요.
중국이 지금 영향력이 엄청나게 커지고 있는 상황이잖아요. 그게 이제 한국 사람의 입장으로서 좋은 거라고 생각하세요? 나쁜 거라고 생각하세요?
저희한테 뭐 크게 이득은 없는 것 같아요, 솔직히.
왜요?
뭐 정치적인 개념이나 뭐 그런 것도 다 틀리고 중국이 저희한테 뭐 도움되는 것도 특히 없다고 생각하고.
중국이 커가면은 저희를 약간 식민지 그런 느낌으로 당연히 보겠죠. 제가 중국 사람이라도 한국 그렇게 볼 것 같아요.
중국은 인구도 많고 돈도 많고 하니까
당연히 옆에 이웃 나라인 저희가 피해보지 않을까 싶습니다.
왠지 미국이 날 것 같다라는 생각은 그냥 지극히 개인적인 의견으로는 좀 그래도 대화가 될 수 있지 않을까라는 생각을 해요. 네. 뭔가 중국하고는 좀 밀어붙이는 느낌이라서 네. 그렇게 딱히 대화가 통할 수 있을 것 같지는 않다는 생각이 들어요.
중국을 선택하면 오히려 저희한테 좋은 게 많을 것 같긴 한데 근데 미국은 원래부터 우리랑 너무 관계가 좋았던 나라라서
Footage captured the moment an elderly man was caught trying random car doors on parked vehicles along the street. Had one of those doors been unlocked, any valuables inside would have been stolen in an instant. But what's even more shocking is how, even after being caught red-handed, the man showed no sign of shame or guilt. In fact, he stared straight into the camera with an almost defiant look.
不爱做就是谁都可以做。我爱做，我72岁，你不要说你是永远要做，你还活不到我这个年纪的。
Immoral behavior isn't limited by age, it's seen throughout Chinese society. It's common to witness loud arguments breaking out on public transport. Of course, things like this can happen in other countries too. But when it comes to sheer frequency, China stands out by far. At the root of it is a deeply ingrained culture of selfishness, where people are primarily focused on themselves.
我上海还一房子人，你还滚不滚去了？烂地方人，你还比不过上海人嘞？有活远的嘞，两个臭屁都给我上海他嘞。
This next scene is just as telling. It was filmed at an elementary school in China. What you're seeing is a tool called Pin Art Board, designed to help students grasp 3D concepts. Originally, it was meant to combine play and learning. But rather than seeing it as a simple learning tool, the kids seem to treat it more like a competition, trying to outdo whoever's on the other side. Some even end up kicking and damaging it. It shows how the desire to come out ahead can easily turn destructive when things don't go their way. It makes you wonder, why is the sense of community, which is common in many other countries, so hard to find in China? Many experts point to the lack of education around cooperation and mutual respect, both in schools and society at large. Instead of emphasizing public order or teamwork, much of the focus is placed on history and cultural pride. And that, they argue, lies at the root of the problem. Instilling the value of putting the group before the individual through teamwork and volunteering from a young age is key. That's all for today's video. If you found it interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.